And yeah, the catch of it is that it's an event space as well. So every night after a show, I have to take down the entire show, clean the space, and get it ready for the DJ set that's going to come in.
Wow, that's certainly something. Jeez. So Gunnar, tell us more about your gallery opening in New York. That's kind of big news.
Oh yeah, it's big news. Well, so that's sort of why we missed last week. You know, we prided ourselves on never having missed a week, but we missed last week. But it was in preparation of this. And basically, I had this body of work that I was trying to show, and I had this idea for this solo exhibition. But when I went to the gallery space, they were like, "Why don't you take over the whole space again?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." But I needed more works to put in the show. So the idea sort of changed, and then it became a group show. You know, thinking about, okay, what other artists can I bring on board to sort of have their ideas meld with mine and create almost like this mega idea, right?
Okay.
Anyway, so that was the basis of the show. And then I got together a group of 6 artists, sort of from all around the world. There's people from Frankfurt, Germany. There's people from Arkansas, you know. And yeah, dude, we had all the works mailed to me. Had to like open them up and like transport them on the subway.
No joke.
And dude, we just hung them up and had our opening yesterday, and it was fucking incredible.
Excellent, dude. Excellent. So, yeah. Can we talk? Were there any sales? Can we talk about that, or is that all confidential information?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay. Okay.
So for context, I've done what, about like 3 shows in New York at this point. And, you know, the first one I sold nothing, but I got introduced to the gallerists. Those gallerists ended up giving me my first group show in New York, and then they let me take over their gallery and do like sort of my own curated exhibition. And in that one, we ended up selling like 5 pieces, right?
Jeez, that's a lot.
Then this upcoming show, we ended up selling, I think right now we're at 2 works, but we sold one the first night and basically covered all our expenses.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge. So your overhead is very low. So that's good. Sounds like that's a really successful
from
piece.
Here on out, we're in the green, which is incredible.
Excellent, man. You know? Hey, anything else is bonus. Sweet, man. Can you talk any about the sort of the underlying themes that you wanted to explore in this show, and then people everyone that's listening can go check out Gunnar's art. It's amazing. At Gunnar Danger on Instagram.
My name.com.
Awesome, man. And Danger has entirely too many vowels and is extremely French, but you know, hey, you can find it somehow.
Yeah. It's actually linked to my clubhouse, which is very nice.
Excellent, yeah.
But anyway, this was the sort of idea for the show. So I wanted to do a show about, you know, sweet, loving, tender moments that sort of like fade away, you know, and thinking about those moments of like pure intimacy that are only here for a short while, really focusing in on, you've seen like Cinderella, right?
Of course. Haven't we all?
Really like focusing in on what Cinderella must have felt as the clock turned 12.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
Just like watching everything just sort of something that was so amazing and beautiful, just sort of like sprinkle away, you know, and return to normalcy. So that's the moment that I was trying to capture, and all of the works sort of play off of that, you know, looking at intimacy and, you know, things that are here for a short while, but through the lens of like childhood and kitschiness, you know.
Amazing,
kind of stuff.
Amazing. So can I ask a personal question? Is the Madeline Kahn still available?
Is available.
Gunnar, I think our audience needs a little context for the Madeline Kahn, however. There's a story there.
Madeline Kahn, I painted it in Austin, and Jack was there, and he was watching me paint it, and oh my God, there's a helicopter. But anyway, It was it's this woman, Madeline Kahn. She was like this big movie star in the 70s and a bunch of comedies, and she's looking at Grover, and she's singing to him, and she's like reaching her hand out, and it's the most gentle, just like beautiful, warm caress I've ever seen behind this pink background. and I looked at the image and I was like, I just have to like paint this.
Amazing.
So, you know, Jack was watching me paint it, and Jack's watched me paint another painting before, and he ended up loving it so much that he ended up buying it.
Venus and Furs.
This one he saw me paint, and he ended up getting into a bidding war with my stepmother.
I did.
Who also desperately wanted to buy it.
I did. Yes. So, that was
Jack
fun. Neither of us were very sober as we got into this bidding war. I might have written some checks my ass literally couldn't cash. So I don't know how much that bidding war stands up officially.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it was the star of the show, and the dude who bought the painting last night, it was between Madeline Kahn and it's like a candelabra on top of a piano, and it's sort of like flying off into the distance.
Yes, that's a great painting too. I really like that one.
It's a subtle painting. It's more understated, and you know, even though like it's more understated, he really like responded to it, and so he ended up choosing that one as the one he wanted to take home.
Well, so Madeline Kahn's still on the table, huh?
It's still on the table.
Okay, well, good to know. That's good personal information. Excellent, man. So now that we've talked, you know, good things, wholesome things, there's been a little bit of a rant that I've been wanting to go on lately that I wonder if people will also relate to. It's that I absolutely hate superhero movies. There's so many of them all the time. I'm gonna say it. I think they're childish. I don't like them. I know.
Uh-huh.
So kind of going back to your, if this can connect at all with your art, which it really doesn't, but I'm going to try to make a little bit of a bridge here. There is something like I use the word childish, and I think there's something to it with superheroes. We want to think that there's someone out there that's big and strong and smart and whatever that can solve all of the problems that we have. So we turn to superheroes. Because superheroes have superpowers. They can solve all these problems for us, right? And we don't have to worry about it. We just let the superheroes go and do it. But superheroes don't exist, man. Superheroes are figments of our imagination.
You know, they don't. There's sort of this ideal that we hold in our heads. And
they are.
You know, what's interesting too is that there's a whole generation of people who are now 30 and 40 who were raised upon those.
Exactly.
And who still like real, like there's guys who walk around with like you know, Superman shirts and stuff. Like some of my best friends, like they are really into superheroes because their parents were really into superheroes.
Exactly.
But there's people who I you know, idolize those figures and still hold them close, you know.
I think that's the reason why this connects to another rant that I have, is those little Funko dolls. What are they called? Funko Pops, something like that. I hate those things.
I don't know, like I think art toy.
Yeah, the little like toys, and if you take them out of the box, they're like ruined or whatever. That makes no sense, man. It's a piece of vinyl. It was manufactured for like $3 in a factory, probably with unethical labor practices somewhere in a country with an authoritarian government, and it's just a piece of plastic, dude. Where's the like craftsmanship, you know?
Well, the only difference between like a toy and a collectible is perception, right?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. You know? But one thing that I like about art is that art is very much, it's very much, you feel some sort of connection to the artist, because the artist put a lot of thought, time, effort, and love into what they were painting, for example. Or maybe it's a song. Maybe an artist poured their heart and soul into a song, and you can feel that through the work. But to me, with like a collectible or like a mass market produced thing, there's not nearly that same sort of connection. It's just sort of pumped out. There's nothing unique or really or special about it. And sure, there might be some like limited edition run or whatever, and that's all just, though, in my mind, a sort of fake exclusivity it's like a manufactured exclusivity, rather than this is a painting, it was painted once, and that's it. That's all we have of it.
Well, it becomes you're buying into a brand rather than into an individual, you know? And that's why people get so upset when they see their favorite bands like selling out.
Sure.
It's because they're, you know, becoming a brand.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, I can definitely
that, you know, initial authentic voice that comes from
absolutely,
you know?
Well, sometimes like a musical artist will get very, very famous before they even sign with the record label. And then if they end up signing with the record label, the fans feel betrayed. They're like, what happened to my, independent artist? Now there's a label with like say over how their work gets presented or whatever. Sure. So there's definitely a parallel there as well. I also, to pivot a little bit into some of our other topics, I feel that way about some of the whiskey that I drink. I like to know where it came from. I like to know who made it. There's like a deep personal connection there to something you're drinking. I think that's really cool as well.
Jack, how many fingies of bourbon do you pour?
Oh, I always pour 2 because we're on Double Trouble with J&G every Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Central with Jack and Gunnar, and we're here to banter about art life and everything in between. That was our little reset of the room. Actually, Gunnar, what are you drinking today?
What am I drinking? Right now I am looking for. Oh wait, actually, holy shit. So I'm walking down the streets of Greenpoint. I'm about to pull a bottle of Jaeger out of my. I'll be drinking.
Oh man, I am staring at a bottle of Jaeger that I bought for Jaeger bombs tonight. So I feel you.
Jack, you have to get. I'm gonna send a selfie at some point, but I'm raw dogging a bottle of Jaeger behind a trash can in Greenpoint.
Wow, I'm raw dogging a bottle of Jaeger behind a trash can in Greenpoint. That is never a sentence I thought I'd heard before. Holy smokes! Sounds good, man. Yeah, this is all gonna end up on our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to see a picture of Gunnar raw dogging a bottle of Jaeger, then go for it. I happen to be drinking. It's called Boddington's Pub Ale, and they're these pint cans, and it comes from the UK. They're these pint cans, and they have a little like nitrogen marble in them. So when you uncork them, it's mega fizzy, and it forms this nice, beautiful head on top of it. Jesus Christ, this picture's heinous. My God, you crazy bastard. All right. There you go. Yeah. So they have a nice head on them. They're very smooth. They're very light. I understand why the Brits drink all day now. Because if you're drinking this shit, it's basically water and it tastes great.
Hey, dude, speaking of water, you ever had a White Claw?
Have I ever had a White Claw? Hey man, White Claw Summer 2021 coming up, baby.
There's a dearth of laws when you're drinking claws.
There really is a dearth of laws. The other way to phrase that also is there ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. I don't know if you knew that, but here on Double Trouble, it's either a reference
or you don't get it.
Yeah, and that's just how we roll. So I would encourage everyone to explore the archive, go back into the old episodes where we really sucked at this show even more than we do now, and find all those fun little references. We explain a few of them back there, and it's always a good time.
You're damn right.
So,
dude, I have a story for you.
Yeah, hit me, man.
I got a story about claws. So Eric, who's a young lad, Eric and I were on a rooftop in Brooklyn a couple nights ago. Wow. And we were watching a band play on the roof. And we got a case of claws, and we were going flavor by flavor, just,
Unbelievable.
Each, right?
Unbelievable. Yes, dude.
And it was an amazing time. And we ran into, there was a bar across the street. And soon we found out the people who ended up at the rooftop show just heard it from across the street and just managed their way through the building and got to the roof.
No way.
And this person ended up just being like, I know no one here. Can I just say I'm your childhood friend?
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, yeah. Little did she know I knew no one there. And the whole night we kept telling everybody that we were childhood friends, even though we knew no one there.
Oh man. So how did this all come to pass? This is a hell of a story, dude. You became childhood friends with someone overnight.
I think you can't. This is the silver lining here, or the moral code that runs, that sort of splits through the middle, whatever the phrase is. Friends, there are friends everywhere. That's
a nice little takeaway. I like that. You ever meet someone at a bar and you become like friends with them instantly? And you're like, wow, this is like a friendship that's gonna last for tonight, and I'm never gonna see this person again.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be drinking buddies.
When you do see them again.
Yeah, that is crazy. It's almost like those are like regular friends. Anyway, Levels in Reverse, the perfect party bop. These transitions are not going to get any better. Trust me. They're going to stay this bad for the whole time that we do this show. Levels in reverse. Gunnar, have you heard Levels in Reverse?
I have. You showed me a YouTube video.
Yeah, they actually don't. So this is a little niche take for people. If you like the song Levels, there is a remix of Levels on YouTube where the chorus is played backwards. I would contend, given how perfect Levels is as a song, that Levels in Reverse actually is better.
Oh my God.
I know, that's a really hot take. I might, I think I'm gonna put Levels in Reverse in the YouTube channel like bio or something, and that'll just be the whole bio. We'll just be Levels in Reverse. I mean, whoa, sometimes, I get a good feeling about things. And that's a reference also. Great. And now I'm going to move on to this one. We're going to stay in music, but I'm going to kick this one to you, Gunnar. MGMT, The Origins. Tell me more.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. So I was watching this crazy music, not like a music video, but like behind the music kind of thing. And MGMT, they were talking about like their first sort of how they came to be. And, they weren't looking for fame. They weren't looking to be famous. They were like ironically playing music to like try to ironically make pop songs for their first album. And they actually started off, their first set was like an hour-long improv set over the Ghostbusters theme song.
This sounds shockingly similar to the origins of Double Trouble with J&J. So I'm not saying we're going to be famous, but, Hey, to our listeners, you can be one of the first listeners. Oh boy.
I think that some of the best sort of origin stories start from the most heinous ideas. You know what I mean?
Heinous. Gunnar, can you define the word heinous? I feel like that's a word that we both use a lot.
Yeah. So I think that the sort of commonplace definition of heinous is sort of like, oh my God, like it's like usually it's been like revolting or obscene, or something like that.
Sure.
But heinous in our vocabulary is just something that is so whack and just so out there that it's almost like legendary.
Off the wall would maybe be a good synonym
that's
for heinous. Off the wall. Vans, Off the Wall. That's our sponsor for today. Little did you know we're sponsored by Vans. Only off the wall, baby. Only the best and brightest. So now that we're deep in the rabbit hole here, so this is another one of my takes. Some people that there are people out there, right, that are like, I'm really funny, and they like go about their life telling people that they're funny. Those people are never funny. Those people are the least funny people I know. Why is it always the people that think they're funny that are the least funny?
Yeah.
What?
I feel that way. I also feel that way with people who think they're really good singers, and so they're always singing in front of you, and you're like, oh no. But I feel like it's the same vibe, same energy.
I mean, I'm really bad at singing, but I sing in front of people anyway. So, hey man, eardrums everywhere, be warned. Eardrums everywhere, be warned. As soon as that John Mayer track comes on, oh yeah, baby. As soon as that John Mayer track comes on, we're just living, bro. We're really just in it, and we're just, heartbreak warfare. Lightning strikes.
Jack.
What?
Jack, a little callback to an earlier episode. During a hash, which is a ceremonial exercise of washing plates.
Yes.
What is your go-to hash playlist?
Gotcha. So there's a little playlist out there. It's called Pop Punk 101 Syllabus. You can find me on Spotify, by the way. Just Jack McManus, all one word, all lowercase. If you find the Pop Punk 101 Syllabus, that is the perfect hash playlist, because pop punk as a genre is the perfect hash music. You need something that's fast.
Yes.
You need something a little bit edgy, a little bit like I'm like rebelling against my parents and I'm 17 years old. That's kind of what you're looking for, really. And you need something that's going to keep you going, and it needs to not change tempo too much. So, wow, that's a siren already. So you need something that's going to be kind of consistent enough to keep you on the same wavelength, but also that's varied enough in like lyrics and maybe drum line and all kinds of other stuff, really to be interesting. So hash is all of these things in one, and hash and pop punk are inextricably linked. I'll throw you back to a little story at Did you know that I went to Stanford Sierra Camp? That's a reference. And every day that I was on hash, so it was a weekly hash, and I was the one with the playlist, I would play my same Pop Punk 101 syllabus playlist. And the kitchen staff loved it. They were like, Jack, we love your playlist. This is a great look, like whatever. And I was like, thank you guys. Do you have any recommendations? So with the recommendations of these 20-something crunchy hippie druggies from Lake Tahoe, I built the perfect hash playlist. And it was great. It was a collaboration among people. We smoked a little pot while we were doing it. We came up with some songs. We had a good time with it. And the Pop Punk 101 syllabus was born. It's really a genre that I hold near and dear to my heart, because I was never that angsty of a teen. So of course I, like, people everywhere decide to listen to music that totally doesn't reflect my experience, which is also why I listen to Dr. Dre as I drive to work in the morning. Excellent. So now that we got that all cleared up, the art of the party, Frat Science 101, Gunnar. What are some keys to a good party? And maybe could you define for us different sizes of parties and what vocabulary you would use to describe them? For example, what is a kickback? How many people are at a kickback?
Okay, so like the different tiers, right? You got a kickback. You have, let's see, the all campus is probably the largest you got.
Sure.
And then there's a mixer somewhere in between there. And then
what if we could generalize this to maybe not like specifically frat science, but like what if we generalize this to party science? So like kickback, rager, something at house party. What are all those levels in there?
It's levels and it's played backwards.
Dude, levels in reverse, baby. So you want to go from largest to smallest then? What defines a rager? How many people do you need for a rager?
Oh my gosh, I feel like it's so subjective. You really got to take in consideration there the square footage, and
the people per square foot of your party space.
Jack, I'm gonna kick it to you. What do you think? What are you envisioning here? What's the vision?
I would say kickback. Ideal kickback is 15 to 20 people, and they're people in like chiller mode. And I would do a kickback in the afternoon. I would a kickback at night. Like I feel like at night a lot of people want to rage. So I would say rager, 40 plus people. Probably want to control the amount of square footage you're giving to those people so they can all be kind of close together. This is all assuming, of course, that everyone's vaccinated, so on and so forth. We're not promoting anything blatantly illegal. And yeah, that's about it. That's what I'll have to say there. Also, fuck it, go have fun. Anyway, I would say though,
to expand upon that.
What?
To expand upon that, I'll go off of your definitions. I would say for where I am, sort of like a kickback is more along the lines of like 8 max.
Interesting. Okay.
And then once you get like, oh wow, these dudes have been racing by in this car, and one dude's like out of the window, and they're just like speeding down the side roads for no reason, and the dude's just yelling. But anyway. And then like 50 plus becomes sort of like a rager because we're in smaller spaces,
True.
But
True.
I'm advocating for what I'm calling it's a new type of I'm all about spreading like sort of like good feelings, good vibes, good cheer. So I'm calling it the super spreader. And what you want to do is get a small room, as many people as you can fit in there, and just go ham, right? Tons of doors, tons of doorknobs, and you want to just lick them.
Lick every single doorknob. So Gunnar, if you happen to be a person that finds a like half drunk beer, like a fallen soldier on the ground, what should you do with said fallen soldiers?
You never leave a fallen soldier.
Never leave a fallen soldier. You fucking drink that shit. That's what you do. Yeah, never leave a fallen soldier. No Man Left Behind. This is Saving Private Ryan or something. Yeah, that's how seriously we take this shit. Oh man. So in your ideal, let's say you're doing like a 10 to 12 person kickback. It's a Gunnar Danger special. It's a Friday evening. The kickback's happening. It's 7:30 p.m. and you're running to the bodega. What are you grabbing for the kickback?
What am I grabbing for the kickback? I'm grabbing this thing that Nico loves to drink, which is called like Splurt or something. It's like an off-brand Sprite. What is it? It's like
Squirt.
It's like yeah.
Oh god.
That shit is nasty. but I'm grabbing that because someone's gonna mix it with something, and I don't know what.
It's gonna be a shitty bottle of vodka. I can almost guarantee it.
You're damn right. And other than that, nothing. Because everyone else can bring their own damn stuff because I do not have the capital to cover that.
Welcome to the life of a starving and thirsty artist, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Honestly, kickback, I feel like, that's a good time to bust out my favorite beverage in the world, which is shitty light beer. I will never stop drinking shitty light beer. Coors Light, Bud Light, PBR, Rainier, if you're from the Northwest. Natty Light, is a classic. I don't think I'll ever stop drinking it.
No.
There's something deeply nostalgic about the idea of shitty light beer, It sort of harkens you back to your freshman year of college.
They say you're not as old as you, what is it? It's like not as old as your number tells you you are, but you're old once you stop drinking shitty PBR. I think that's how the saying goes.
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. That's also either a reference or you don't get it. So damn, son.
I don't know if anyone got it.
I don't think anyone got that one. But hey, that's how deep of a reference it is. And yeah, that's why we're on here at Double Trouble with J&G. Because eventually, if you stick with us long enough, some of these references get explained. So that's why you just have to dive into the archive, man. Just got to go for it.
And the references form this web, and they sort of interconnect. And they create this wonderful fabric that we know of as banter.
They do.
Einstein had this theory about the banter sort of fabric.
Really?
And it makes for good conversation, is what he said.
I think banter equals moments times conversation squared, something like that. I don't know.
You're damn right.
I don't know exactly what those stand for, but yeah, Einstein was definitely he had some interesting thoughts. About banter.
What happened to your sleeves?
What happened to my sleeves? Oh, my tattoo sleeves?
I just saw that come off the cuff.
Oh God. Oh Lord, Gunner. Dude, this has turned into 10:30 p.m. at the open mic, and everyone's drunk, especially the comic, and the jokes are just degenerating so quickly. And
well, here's a last little reference for you.
Okay.
Here at Double Trouble with J&G, we have a strict rule. We only do a half hour of content.
This is true.
Cut it off straight at a half hour. No more, no less.
Nada at all. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Double Trouble with J&G. My name is Jack, and I'm joined by
Gunnar Danger.
And every Friday at 5 p.m. Central, we come on and we banter about art life and everything in between. Ladies and gentlemen, signing off. Adios.
Peace.